overcoming the enemies of love. If love is personified as somebody who is rightly standing before you, then certainly that person has got some enemies. And I kasafa odo tamfo twi no mo kakra. Eniyema bi a yebeka se asa yiriti a ema odo eho etochema. Eniyema bi a se yiriti a ema odo no ho asem ka no eye bibi kakra. And that is why I want to talk about that today. Enemies of love. Let me give this scenario. Everybody is born from childhood or from infancy. Everybody is born to love. Naturally, was akra no onyini no onye odo. Anya hwe oba wi ase na osu imo obi afa no. Emo hunu se adasani bi obi afa no. Ano nti akra ne hunu se hu enipa ho hia. Ano nti akra bi enyini a kana adwene mu fan odo nti odo eye natural instinct. Nanso enipa mmra yo ne nipa mfomso bone o wiase nti akra no enyini no na society no ni environment no ni nipa instinct kira akra ne se ogi odo no nko ahu enyeye kanu nti abofra no nyini no na ye kira no the other aspects of love. Kanu nti abofra no enyini no ya na me ba Germany na my observation baako. It may sound funny. Na ye me say na de krom hankura no kasa edi ka kire omo ye na ansa ne akaya na akura no onyini na kakra na onya hyase ose 9 bibia 9 na mpene enti no ansa na obeka yes adentra abofra no onyini no hunu say abrabo no enye yes nkoa. No, there are others. I don't think yes onyankopon onyansa ne ntiri pomu no who you odo every sorry nyini mu enye ye. All that we need is love. But the reality of the society is that this love that is supposed to be ideal, the love that is supposed to be a desirable character, also has some kind of enemies. And inti odo mapa odo wotamfo. Odo wotamfo. And inti ene infodina mi twani nyina ne se odo a orade hwehwe se yenya wona safo mu no enema bi entimi ma odo nya adwuma no e wo se ye hu bi e wo se ye hu na ye hu bibi ne be ya na erade aboa ye ne aye hu bibi odo a e bia arafo a utie me e twa se daddy wo onyame asafo maka ho asem odo e bia e twa se e daddy wo mpo ya wariem sakobasa. The other aspect, the enemies of that love, unitia. I will say, Yehunu, na erade boy, ye tree home, every home. So the beya, our mudo, ebejina. Oda, I was a war a uncle 4 and 10, sir, friends. It was a conkind, a yakase. Now, so Tom Rebbe are the reality of the enemies of love na unity. So ye hunu ni anye hu bibi a adamfo anka ebi ani omboko sua tafre enso no na akoye adapatwa. And so it is very essential that we reflect on what I have termed or known or described as enemies of love, so we can grow in love. Yameke nyina ne fapem pa ejina onyame asafo mu. Yeni musanka asore de obi eba na adwene mu fitaa esan se Nyankopon a yasom no no yodo. God is love. I don't see ebe onyame fie dia ene ene wo se odo ene di hene. Odo ne wo se reni. Because we have come to worship the King of love, the embodiment of love, the revelation of love, who is God, manifested in the person of Jesus Christ. And so, a time maybe instead of love, no, now I am before frog. And until now, who here, I am very important. Some know. You're reflecting on it. Simple enemies of love. No can be so. You do one for and now say your partner with it. Like I say, rather I ain't a dumb. Now you to me actually your home, every home. A rather more sir. It will use to name. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Verse 4, Paul describe love. In context, now, Kasafa said, Kwaya Yamfa Abdomachadi, Juma, Wonyami Fie, chapter 12, chapter 13, chapter 14, and no more count once of 1 Corinthians. And until chapter 12, the Kaka Abdomachadi and Ahudo Bobo, so then chapter 14, no, 13, no, and a watch today, Kwaya Yamfa Abdomachadi and Juma. I don't know. 1 Corinthians 12:31, no, towards the end, and was saying, now may I show you the excellent way. I don't to Paul. No, a choir met me a fast way, yoni ye or dog castle. She made me the Adomachadia, Juma was a year or dog castle. I think I'll preach on that. That's how charismatic in that. She makes me a warrior now, I a choir was a better warrior, the way you walk out for so ya chedia, near ye warring ye, no, or dog. I don't know, dog. Say, bet me, you be any, ye ma, any hour for a sign. The way a your dog. Nya you be a bet me out fry Juma, a quay bet me out fry Juma ye a your dog. I don't you say now, may I show you the excellent way. You don't know, shall see no say. Nasa me what tongue, me what a tons. Na me ni or da. Me tons can not quite to say, Akasa, ye was so on the keke. No say, na say, me what a doma chadia between Huna hintasam, so we are say, and who 10 heavens, 5 heavens, 12 heavens, 19 heavens, 100 heavens. Na so na me ni or da. Na Paulo kase na efaso bia eniso. Osin na se mi ogidie na me kasa me Paul tutu nko. Wo ogidie na wo kasa eneya. Ghana nyeye sikamra Ghana one decree one declare na so ni oda na ose efaso bia eniso. Yo wie yare na o kire se odo no a o ka ho asem. Ene ne eba ene de eba de. Verse 4 no. Eno no wo sha ase. And also, odo eya abotre. Love is patient. And when you know all these virtues are, or they chile odo mu no. See, in the negative way, I think you're enemies of love. Nemo me nene me peke kakra bi na makasa afa home. Also, love is patient. And when you know, you say, an enemy of love about your impatience. So, no, love is patient. And you know, say you need abotra. and ye na your dotamfo. We no say love is kind. I know to nature say odo eya ye we dia say ye selfish ya enemy of love. We no say love it does not envy. Nature say odo etamfo number 1 and the make us for your no pa envy and I say jealousy. I'll pick that one and talk about it. But say love does not envy. And where there is envy, it means love disappears. I don't know one of the number 1, main points for the enemies of love is envy. I'll talk about it later. Or we not say it does not boast. Or don't love does not boast. I don't know just say where there are boastings, okay? And then he said it is not proud. And umja any a hand time a baako. And don't just say a hand tiny and umja and also an enemy of love. Or we not say verse 5. It does not dishonor others. Oh no. Although are not people where there are dishonor. Si ebu obi anim tiawa, ye hu obi se oni ane de onye obi a na chese ye enemy of love. Ye odo tamfo number 1. Ye odo tamfo edibu pa. Owie no say it is not self-seeking. Self-seeking no, medikan aka ho asem say enye pese me nkuminya. Enhwehwe no nko ne de it is not self-seeking. You know the issue of self-seeking. And no it me another enemy of love. And then he said, it is not easily angered. It is not easily angered. Nibu enfu and tentem. And I say, Odom muna basa basa. Where there is love, na so no, owu no ya obu na nitie, hu ya obu afu, abufu basa. Wo nyame fie, ya wo ya busuam ba biara hu wo adwuma na chese enemy of love. Obi who 1 2 na obu afu 1 2 na abu afu obekasa ho kra na osuro because obekasa ho na no betimi apa enu nti odom petepete ne ho ye no ene o kan ho asem because it is not easily angered, okay? Enu nti being angry easily is an enemy of love. We are not say it keeps no record of wrongs. Although journaling of people's mistakes. You can journaling and say, what a book. Wow, no. And you'll be when you know actually boom. And as soon as you can say, and no actually. Obu on the man, yes, a literal book. I'll talk about it. It may not be a literal book, but you have written people's sins or weaknesses or wrongdoing on the tablet of your heart. What should you come so? There be another wiba. Let us say enemy of love. And don't you just say near my was one Paul Kekano and also pa. Also, it keeps no record of wrong. But we are in the assessment. And also, love does not delight in evil. And yes, sir, bonne and shisha bonne. A nipa attracted to sometimes to negative what happens. And until also odo and shisha bonne and shisha bonne and shisha bonne. Oh. And yama we can wahano edos pa. Or we no say it does not delight in evil, but on a positive note, it rejoices with the truth. And until or those who are positive, every young work and I said that for etina and so for penny cast and nearby sorry. Or say it does not rejoice, okay, with lies, but rather it rejoices with truth, with the truth. Verse 7. Owieno say it always protects. Although a bar for from home. Odobo onyame asafo ho ban. Odobo ye ho kafo ho ban. Love protects. We no say love trust. These are positive notes. Love trust. Always hopes and always perseveres. Wow, this is quite a tall list that Paul uses to describe what it means to love. And First Corinthians, chapter 13, a hymn of love, a odohunyom and a Paul or toye, a hymn of love. And until Sunny a near and Yafabia Marco, and Ayasia Wadia, Utimuse, a more to ye. Nemum and Nano, me you 4 or 5. Na mago dite kakra as enemies of love. Na yegyina so abo empire. Ori a wutie me. Ankanka ebo nyame asafo mo a. E dia be enema enetimi ye odotanfo. We can also apply not only in the context of the church, but in any other relationship. Near Paul, Edike kan yi. Aye yi bi ni ahwa. Ania edikan. Enemy number 1. Biblia ye ka say unforgiveness. Paul said, although does not keep records of wrong. And so where there are records of wrongdoing, then it makes love. It attacks love. There be biara onyono wo amfanche wo no onua dofo odontimi ni hene wo ho kyerɛ me aware a anigye wom na menkyerɛ wo awade a emu nipa ɔbɛɛma ɔbaa ɛde wɔn ho kafo bɔne ɛkyɛ wɔn kyerɛ me adwuma nipa yɛ mu adwuma askim na menkyerɛ wo sɛ certainly people will offend each other. But the eraser that cleanses the error, the weakness, the sin, the offense, the hurt is bigger than the pencil that writes the hurt. And it is about forgiveness. Amazing Grace, we are celebrating 7th anniversary. If you are a regular member, whether on this platform or in the church, you realize that sometimes, whether intentionally or unintentionally, somebody might have said something which you may not be happy. Sometimes somebody might have misconducted him or herself to you or towards you. It is human to err. It is human. It is human to offend each other. We normally say that while there are people that others wouldn't offend each other, then we normally say that then one of them is acting out. One is hypocrite. One is learning not to be genuine. Okay? Wherever 2 or more or 3 people meet, there certainly there would be hurts. Se nipa mienu ana mensa ehia eye den ya baako ebefom baako. Nipa mienu ehia eye den ya baako. Ade bia who relate with now come closer to eye den ya baako ebefom baako. That is human. That is human. When you upper decide to say, we need pantana. Or some say, over baby pan off from Munipabia. Then they can mind got na baby. That could be a mistake, ama, old nama to home, rana crama, no worry. And now, crab, I found I'm okay? Wherever there is relationship, Bako from Bako, normal. It is human. And so, Wherever we decide not to forgive, then we are deliberately kicking out love. Say, odo ebeye juma, just say crowd do say, ye de beche. Say ya crowd say ye de beche dia, emi na ye mpese odo ebeye juma, baby biara ye wo. Let me say this. In terms of relationship, love is a decision. Love is a decision. If you limit love on the level of emotions, then you can never genuinely love anybody on this earth. Because, well, what are the akura your first time? What should I call to near Pama? That's what who was tall. A year of fair. What 12 tiakan? Oh, Bashana me as I nine. Now shall say a real for any of you. And into emotional, wouldn't pass out, dear, no, and so that take. And if you relate with other people, with people on the level only of emotions, then be sure that you will not have what we call genuine love at work. If you relate with people only on the level of emotions, and obi huba you he, and obi huba you he. Sane ho anyi wa hi ne kora uhu no a ade bi a waye atwam mfie miensa mfie num mfie nsia obekoso akai na o ma ne ho aye wa hi. Number one enemies of love is what we call unforgiveness. Unforgiveness. Obi biara wa bona adwene pose opese wo sum nyame. Obi biara wa bona adwene pose opese odi Yesu achi. Na anu nti watu gidi anamo aba onyankopon fie. Nia onia no ehwehwe nyina ne se asori dem no ebeye a place to belong. Ebeye a place onia no obeye genuine, obeye rare. Whether so ofum obi o, wan fum obi o, wo feel accepted say impos wo fum kra ye de beche no. Say obi ati asiesa oyiri yam e belong to the place. Who the any so aware analogy. Who ka for him say sani etie bia no wodon anu nti no ode ho nyina be ma. But say a question will laugh for him and now for her days or then ho nyina be ma. This is a logic. And until unforgiveness and now say keeping records of wrong. An enemy of love. Maybe umpire my amazing funny out of all platforms swinging now. 7 years in it. Some of them were fatter me why as a suffer. 7 years in it. Say obi about sorry me no from wagner cassetia. Me pachawa but modern I am appealing to you. Anything that's been written in your heart about the mistakes of others, the sins and the weaknesses and the hurt of others, please, please, please erase it. Appeal, a personal appeal. Just erase it. Erase, erase, erase. Erase the negativity. Erase the weakness. Erase the hurt. Erase it and be free. Yes, say onyame nipa bi say forgiveness. It's like evangelism was saying. It is about trying to set one sinner free. Okay? And after you set that person who has been bound, you set that person free. Who's standing in here? Then you discover that the person you have set free, it is you yourself. Se wan fan cha wanim kura besesa oba asore kura wanim nya sere ube muna aba asore obi ehu a na ne wura kura cha se woni ani je se na asu obasa aba asore because obi hu hi ehye wakumam anu nti se bese anyina onyame asafo a odofo. Love is a choice. Decide to forgive, let go, and love people, accept people, erase the records of wrongs, and be emotionally released and be free. to grow God's church. And celebrating 7 years of amazing grace, let's deal with the enemy of love. And the enemy of love, number one, I have talked about, is unforgiveness. Near it also be another enemy of love. Paul used envy. Near here can say jealousy. And every one. Me obia me tie you bi same atade bi obi hye ba asori kwasi ada menkai en me hye ye ho en ma adwene ho ye ne ye me design obi so ho no mo a ne makeup no o dwen kwasi ada we hye atade we me ni bi na sane nda we beye we to nyon no to ni yes in last bi media me to ye aduane no kura e kira ye no we nya ne ti na we nya ne sere enu nti dem biara no na abeye Paul your friend James ekase unhealthy comparison ye no what we call jealousy and envy so no beloved onyame na hu ye mabo eno agime ni wo ye nyina eno ade ne honhom konkono adua wo mu nyame de ne honhom atena wo mu nyame de ne honhom atena me mu ene ye nyina ya ka abom ye siase ye ya asori ye enye competition asori ye woni obi ani competition wa brabom se ye ti ase ye it overcomes the enemy called envy or jealousy. You are not in competition with anybody and all over the world. Yajia to Muse, Kokroboti, Yakasa fingerprints. Oh, but Germany, and as our Kwaji, your friends are visa, Yade, Uyamade, Uyatom print, yes, I would say 2 fingers. And just say, who, Paya, Sanya, what you will reason, Obia, one one, you are unique, you are different. You are different. God has made you so. Who tente, who structure, who test, who build beer, a queen of us casa, a queen of us you're unique. You are different. You are different. Nobody is like you. And until don't compare yourself with anybody. Okay? Don't compare. Develop healthy self-image about yourself and do away with everything beer. Your friend of jealousy and envy. A classic example where Radia Semo, and Yanum Yanom Koba for dear, Cain and Abel. Bible say Abel Kobona for dear. Cain is Sakobona dear. One Kobama dear. Now, Bible say, Hebrew Kasano, or say, Abel dear no, Nyame any chain, any soy pa. So, or joy, just and he was pleased. Now, Cain, dear, no dear. So, Yami, Nissa, eh, I don't know your body, dear. I don't know, oh, no, the other buy, and I'm so Yami, any dear. And yeah, so you will be the bay, no answer obey, so we'll be now walk of our back home. No, I for about you, I come because I'm going to receive fun or baby. Now, I really and target and and I may say the panic crying say, Kakra will be a person on the best also, say we wait in Lady Barco was off for the onion. I am fan uncle. And I'm saying that we will be the way I will be. Order for say, K. Wa for the bono, and Runyam, Nina missing with the enemy and Runanim. Now say, oh no, my young woman, you have a family, I can't hold it. I then I'll come confer and make a home. Now so a radia some say. A yan near bed, dear na, a drew Yami and Nimuno, a yan ya. Envy, jealousy, Adena, and yam many way. Adena, maybe the idea Yami and Yamona way. Unhealthy comparison, you know, any jealousy, any envy ever. Yeshia so Yankupon Masia Sume Radia, or Yamia ye or Stronko, or Modi Bobiano, Senor Yamia Dum, I can say also, and I'll do you. and your comparison. And yes, way I say, and we can say, no mom, so be true and more your positive. Nasa ube share be afro being China, yeah, not your own kinds of on the positive note, but not on the negative note. And until jealousy and envy, and your papa. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, Paul catch a Corinthians 4 said, I could not see you as matured people. Why? Because when you meet, there are quarreling, there are envy, there are jealous. Also, now I am competitive in a way comparing unnecessary. Also, there be and see, I know Bamudia, not just a maturity. I don't think number one or another enemy of love. What I call envy and jealous. At a point in time, Obia to me envy kakra. We are human. But Nyankopon Kachele Cain said, sin is at the door of your heart, trying to destroy you, but you must master it. Overcome envy. And one thing that makes us say love is a decision. Determine, say, the onyamedia dumo, aduma onyamedia mawo, adie bi onyamedia man, you can develop it to be better. Say, oh, who say, oh, be one and new Salewa, ya no nchira say also sa, ubetumi aye, and unti any bread. Enye any bread. And unti adia, odotan for number one, envy and jealousy. Last na meka, monia baby, na some kasafa, or don't want me to akapa, abayo awasiswa, or ben maybe osuro nyame, or no cramu nyina, moyon so ye, ebe ya sofo. Na also be wow. Wabesraw. Na se ukọ akọja ne kwan a mutisi abonten no obi ka betwa mu no obi tika mu obi oba ne be ma tika mu a o se wa hwe obi ne yere ne tika mu na me wode me nam fom wode ne sama our relationship na nyina unhealthy competition and jealousy and envy odofo envy enya de pa ahoya enya de pa ahoya enya de pa etomre bia eniema ye bu ne se we di o we no e bi kura ne nya saa na tie nya saa na tie nya saa na tie nya saa na tie obema bi ni okunu oba bi ni okunu a omuka do yenim sorry no ba ko ne ka do no passenger side no ni edi bia di inside na sai I don't know so much juna just a bear man of fat car nechi no baby outside that man. Obi ene ne yere da bia so na mo hunu se da bia we mu besi na be man baby okunu ama no. O se wa hwe se me kuna me waro de onno me kura hwe. Obi wo mo be ne car obesi a be man ne baby do ma no. Ene ntime me de wo no me ana da bia e besi as me amemie pipo no. Eno nti unhealthy comparison na aware no ye dakoro pomuye de na ada neighbor no teye ewa na maame ni kire se hwe epono no nyesa mikuru de bebie ma so odomi o na emmom inside lock na idibie na no na asai nti ono obi o inside enyeye jisa be ma no na esi mo ba bebi ama no competition, any jealousy, any envy, near the banner. I am misinformation. I am misinformation. I am misinformation. Maybe I am a son here. I know the idea about a kutia or dog. Jealousy and envy. Near a tosobium. Another enemy. Bible, Emma, Etiasia said, there is no fear in love. Emma, another barrier or enemy of love. Fear. But for you everyone may bet me fear, but also so be a mistake. Fear. Emma won't you more done ya juma. Who don't yami and no crack. Udo nyame san ka bato nyom so usuro se me goto nyom mi kotie. Fear e ma udo no ntimi nnadi. Fear of the unknown. E tom na bia yesuro se me kọ akoye me kọ akokan. E dey e na be si Paul say, although there is no fear, or say perfect love cast out fear. Obi wo hono mo a niam ntimi nya bibi kura wo nyame fie eye ne bad story bi a wate pepe wate dada. Okay, osofo bi edi asori sika anu nti osuro se me na me nko ba afode e na osofo afam sika adi. Anu nti fear obi hono ma so tia o yi sika kura wo nyame fie osuro na fear no Bible so nyame ma ye honhom na mo ama akodro agrimutie ne odo honhom enya honhom papa who enya honhom papa. Fear aye enemy of love. Fear ne so na downfall pa ba ko aye bibi e friend of suspicion. Fear ne so pa ba ko aye bibi e friend of suspicion. Na nti otinyame fie enso bia ye suspect. Otinyame fie asorpanyi ye suspect, osofo ye suspect, asorba ye suspect. Enu nti bia was waye no onyame no onye da. Nanso onua utie me. Yakopon yo odo enye ehu. Da chini ya obi ayo bia ebebu hu akonta. Akoa no a owura no ko ba bi no ma no talent ba ko no tutu fom de hye ho wan fa anya adwuma ni wura ne ba ayo be bisa anse me talent am de ma no ho mo ho we o se bo na misuro ma fa anya adwuma because me nim so you wicked udua utwa ba bia unua aye so I could not fear antimi ama na fa the talent no anye adwuma fear ebetimi ama obi ni also ye ma awurade no onye basa dache yebo hu akonta and until deal with the enemy of fear. It is an enemy of love or dosu and ne tamfo pa baako fear nia etoso biem fear no it leads to another enemy of love, what we call mistrust. And no one said my kind of suspicion. When you are with me, sir, yenye hu nia. Onyame asafo entumi enkoso. Asore ba osofo anyi asore ma ani a asore ntumi enkoso. Asore ma anyi osofo antum anaza sombanifo antum a asore no entumi enkoso. And number one, another enemy of love is what we call mistrust. Paul says love trusts. Okay. Yeah, me kase. So we need trust. I want to worry. Oh. Okay. So worry. Now no yere and I could down paswa. Oh no that is any wo. She said, oh, you need me say. Obey me and now obey. Oh, nyame de di na man ane na ebo bra. And na kura ona because who da. Oh, na tise de wo. Sade anche no watwa oti a, wo go bisa wan. Because who wada. Wada. So no. Ye di ade anche no na de ona enda da wa fose kan atwa oti afiri ho a, wo go bisa no asama do, wo go bisa no ene. Anu nti so we need trust ya, you cannot marry. Life is like that. There is risk in anything we do. And without trust, you cannot marry. Without trust, you cannot laugh in God's church. Because Usuro say, Obibe for us can Edjananka, Usuro say, Obibe yo say, Usuro say, and Obibe yo say, Usuro say, and without genuine love, you cannot trust anybody. And mistrust is an enemy of love. Near a tattoo, Namidi Asamaya Berry, as another enemy of love to deal with, the pride or boasting. Paul said, "Odo me mane hoso, odo nye dwe, sa uye onipa oju hudi, oju hutum." Nanso, any kwan say, me, vocabs. You only depend on your feelings. You only depend on your ego. You only depend on your own, everything is me. Then just a pride has set in. And number one enemy of love is pride. Okay? Yeah, I sem, akabin sem, ahantai, to know, minim. I sem, yeah. We are all human. And that is why we got to love each other. When would hear me, I am there, I be free as you. Mempene na me. And then you need somebody. You definitely need somebody. Nia on pen ni ma hwe no. E bia no na Awurade na mo so kura be hyira wo kwan bi so. Anu nti yenyi igbo no nto nkyɛn. Na yemu obi a wo nyame fie. Akwara o panyin o. Osofo o, asɔre panyin o. Yemu ye hu o. Enemy of love. Eye dwe ayisem. We are human, or the four, yantiasa. When you are with me, and now, yes, as we are celebrating 7 years of amazing grace, and we are trying to grow, we are seeking to grow the church through love. So this idea, let's overcome the enemies of love. Ibrahim Mawaboso, name by way of summary, they say let's deal with unforgiveness. Let's overcome jealousy. Let's overcome fear. Let's overcome pride. And let's overcome mistrust. Amen.